Hey guys, I'm looking for my impromptu handle for this vise. So I'm working, I don't know where the fuck it went. It's alright, I got a screwdriver. Screwdriver makes so I have a drill press vise that I use for certain things. I started talking, I don't know who just logged in, I started talking before anybody got here because these go up. But the handle came off of it, and so I need an impromptu handle for this. You'd think I'd have fixed it by now. It's been almost 2 years. I was just gonna do this. What's up, Chris? This knife came in, I'm starting to cut in a notch on it, but if you look at where that ricasso is, I kind of checked against it. One side is actually a little bit lower than the other. To sharpen all the way up against that, I'm gonna fuck up these layered G10 handles. So talk to the customer, I'm gonna put a substantial, hey, I'm just talking about your knife. I'm gonna put a little bit more substantial notch than usual. So this is the file I usually use for cutting in a sharpening notch because it's got a little spot where I'm not gonna slip out. I like it because it's got that round hook on it. So as I'm cutting in, that's a big freaking mosquito. Problem solved. Anyway. So a lot of times I'm using this to cut in, but this one needs a good bit more distance. So I'm gonna be using this file. So it's gonna be, it's not a huge file, but it's significantly larger. Now, when I do these at the house, a lot of times I don't charge because it doesn't really take that long. I'm not having to drive to the shop. But if I'm doing a finger choil, I got to do it on a grinder. What's up, Robert? So, a lot of people have asked how I do this, and it's a pretty simple thing. I make myself, I use the package that they sent it to me in, and I make myself soft jaw vise inserts, and I stick it inside this little bench press vise, drill press vise, I mean. And I tighten it down so it won't wiggle. And I just use a file to cut that notch. And so I start with the small file to give myself a start point, and I just cut it in. Now, I'm gonna try to turn this around. Let me get it, let me see if I can get this, and you can kind of watch what I'm doing. But I have to, before that, I have to make a public apology to everyone that has knives at my house. I still haven't shipped anything. It has been an insane week. I'm actually right now using my nose itches. Using my old phone. I got a whisker that has turned up and is in my nose. This week has been impossibly bad. Yesterday we had to make a rapid trip and set up an appointment for my daughter at acupuncture. Yesterday my phone quit working. I'm currently using my old phone, my iPhone 4 or 5S. My iPhone 6S completely just died. I mean, it still works for certain things. It won't connect to anything. I can text over Wi-Fi, but I can't call. If anybody's tried to talk to me lately, you know that there's been some, like it breaks up, like you can't hear me. It just sounds like I'm fading in and out. It's my phone. It finally gave up the ghost. So I'm using my 4S for phone purposes. I'm currently on this is my 6S, but I can't call. I can text. As long as I'm on Bluetooth, or I mean not Bluetooth, but Wi-Fi, I can do stuff. It won't stay connected to my watch. So I am going to the Apple store today to get a new phone. So, because I like Apple products. People pick on me because of it, but I like the simplicity of it. So, I apologize. I will have everything shipped out by the end of the week. If your stuff is here, it will be out by the end of the week. I apologize, but that's just the way it is. And I had to deal with payroll yesterday. I could not pay myself. There was an issue with my direct deposit and it wouldn't go through. And so basically what I did was I paid taxes through that. And well, I'm old, Bradley. And then I paid my taxes and did all my tax withholdings and stuff. And then I still have to transfer my money to myself on the 1st. It's just been like, it's one of those weeks where everything that could go wrong has. So let me get all this stuff, and I'll get this camera. Let me turn the camera around for you so you guys can kind of see. Let me get this flip-flop. You guys are gonna get to watch actual work in progress. So when I finish cutting this notch before I sharpen this, I'm going to go to the Apple store because I need to get there early. Because I need to get that phone fixed. Because 2 reasons. We have my daughter's ice skating competition I would like to document. Oh, fuck. I might have to sharpen that out. Well, not really. That's going to be part of the notch, I think. That's what I was trying to avoid. But there's a couple reasons I need that phone. I'm going to Blade Show West. If you had not already heard the announcement, I will be at Blade Show West. Nico and I both will. And so I got to have that phone for that. I'm going to do as much YouTube documenting as I can. I don't know if I'm going to try and post videos. You guys want to hear something funny? Here's something funny. So Nico made the plans for this trip. Nico and his wife. And so we got an Airbnb set up that was pretty good, and it was within walking distance of the venue for Blade Show West. And then the lady gets back with Nico's wife, Bridget, and tells her, yeah, sorry, completely spaced it. We've got family. We can't rent that room out for Airbnb. So we had to find a different one, which is significantly farther away. 1 bed, 1 couch. Now, Nico and I are not going to share the bed. If it's a fairly large couch, since he went to the trouble, I'll sleep on the couch. I have no problem with that. However, no matter how you look at it, Nico and I will be, to those people, a progressive couple. They're not going to know or realize that one of us is on the couch and one of us on the bed. They're just going to know there's 2 adult men sharing a room in their house for the weekend. I think I want that a little deeper. Not necessarily wider, but deeper. That's what she said. Sorry. I apologize for that lowbrow attempt at humor, but it had to be done. It had to be done. I can't see you guys' comments, by the way. I'm sorry. Yes, significantly cheaper than a hotel. Our whole trip is, I think, costing us like $400 each. That's hotel and airfare. So using an Airbnb was a lot. Here's the thing. I don't need... So, Bradley, you're talking about phones for... I'm not from California. I'm from Ohio. Where if you come out of the closet, we beat you the fuck right back in there. Just get the fuck back in that closet. So, yeah, I did just punch that stand and it hurt. So, anyway, I'm going to flip this back around. But, yeah, that lowbrow attempt at humor, I want it wider. I want it deeper. Not wider, just deeper. That was a lowbrow attempt at humor when I said that's what she said. Sorry. And while I've got you guys here live, there's 17 of you. I apologize. The video that I shot yesterday is going to post up at noon today. But I did take down the Jim Skelton knife video, not because Jim asked, but strictly because the comment section started to get really toxic, really abusive. And the funny thing was, the odd thing was, a lot of times in the comments section, it gets addressed at me or somebody that's not. It wasn't really, very little of it was addressed at me or Jim. It was addressed at other members. It was non-subscribers being abusive to subscribers, and I can't have that. So you guys will see that apology again at the end of the video I'm posting today, but I did finally do a full video review of the knife pivot loop. But let me get over here and finish cutting in this notch so then I can go get my phone. So I usually do about a half round, about a half of this file in depth, and then I take a flat file that's just about deep enough. But then I will take a flat file and I will knock this corner off to give it a more of a smooth transition. And it's not so much that you need that smoother transition, but it definitely makes it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I think. And I do it by hand like this on most knives that only need a small one, because there's no chance that I'm going to overheat the material. But I like to transition the right way. See, that was fairly quick, and that's why I usually don't charge for these. That's still got a fucking round spot right there. So a lot of times what you wind up with is like a half teardrop shaped, or a half heart, however you want to look at it. But there's another issue with this knife. Bradley had this knife and he snapped it shut real quick, and it actually hit the lanyard tube. So I'm going to kind of file a flat spot on the lanyard tube after I take it apart. So before I ever sharpen this, I got to do a couple things to it. Let's see, is that the shape I'm looking for? Yeah, that's more the shape I'm looking for. And then use this little puppy back and forth a little bit to round out that bottom so it doesn't have a flat point. Bob's your uncle, we got to sharpen a notch. Let me see. If I get behind the camera, see if I can get a good shot of it for you. There you go. Nice little half moon. Gives you standoff so he's not bouncing it up against this if he tries to sharpen it himself. Nice little half teardrop or half heart shape. Kind of a smaller version of that. Looks pretty similar. So, get this turned back around. And I'll get my tools. The next step is to hang on. Well, I had it right the first time. Damn it. Whew. So that is that. That I'm not charging for. I already told Bradley I wasn't going to charge him for that. Because, I mean, really, let's think about it. It's work, but was it that much work? Now I have to take this apart because I got to find, I can see where it hits. So there's a nick in the tip of that blade. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty substantial. It's a half moon shaped nick in that blade. So what Bradley said he did was he snapped it shut, and it managed to bounce off that lanyard tube. And so he asked me if I could take the lanyard tube out, and what I'm afraid of, to get to the point of the matter, let's have some pointed inquiries around this. I'm fucking sorry. So, can you do work on hardware? I got one coming that might have a different than advertised pivot and thumb disc. I may be able to. It just depends, because the thing is, not gonna lie to you, I broke this screw out of a Brian Nadeau in the pivot. Brian Nadeau Mini Typhoon. There was, I don't know what was going on. That pivot was so tight that screw just would not go in. It wasn't cross-threaded. It was just something up with it. It was like that when I took it apart, and when I put the screw in, the head twisted off. And you can't just now at this point, I've got a flush sheared titanium screw in a steel barrel. And so I ordered them. I ordered a couple of them. And the pivots, I'm not gonna lie to you, it depends on what you want to look into for the price of the knife. The pivots were $35 each with the titanium screws. That's not an uncommon price. So if you're looking at replacement hardware, you would probably want to look at it yourself before you send it to me, because I'm going to charge you for the work, and I'm going to charge you for the parts and any shipping I pay on any of that. And so it may be smarter for you to take a look at getting the stuff, what it's going to cost, and make an intelligent decision, you know, informed decision about what you're going to do, as opposed to have it with me and you tell me you want that done and I just buy it, and then you're stuck with, you know, $90 in hardware costs plus the upcharge, because you have to order a certain amount. You can't just order like 4 screws. You can't just order like I had to order 2 pivots at $35 each. When you're dealing with numbers like that, the smaller numbers, you would think, oh, I can just get a couple, it should be cheap. Now, actually, it's more expensive to buy a single screw or a single pivot than to buy them in bulk. So lots of places have realized that, and now they have a minimum amount. So you may only need 4 screws and 1 pivot screw for that, you know, for that knife, or 1 thumb stud, and then you wind up looking at the price and you're gonna have to buy 10 of each, and you're looking at a couple $100 and stuff to replace $12 screws. So what was this? I'm not getting this fucking thing. I am 100% sure that I'm not getting this because my phone is jacked. Has my Trazulia, my Bob Trazulia showed up? No, it has not. It's supposed to be here Saturday. So, but yeah, I have to take this. It's the new Master Off Wii. And see, when you're looking at, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've got a guy that has some screws that he has a knife that he wants me to anodize all the screws and stuff. And he said, they're steel. Well, I can't anodize steel. And he said, well, if I buy titanium screws, I'm like, I would look it up. It's not that I'm not, if I was an unscrupulous business person, I'd have told you, yeah, send it to me, I'll order the stuff. And then I would have upcharged you for all the hardware. I would have upcharged you for the work, and you'd have been looking at, on a $180 knife, you'd have been looking at a couple $100 worth of work, because on top of the price of all that stuff, and the fact that I ordered it, and the time I took to do all that, and research it and find it, that I got to charge you for, then you'd still have to pay me to modify the knife. So you'd be looking easy, couple $100. I could just tell you, send it to me, I'll do all that. So, I love when you guys do that. You don't have to. Announcement. I told Jeremy Morris I was going to do this. I don't know how many of you guys would be interested in doing it. I am going to start a Patreon for my daughter's skating. But we looked at the numbers. She's at a level now where we're at a level now we're paying almost $1,000 a month. That's, my wife uses all of her income to pay for my daughter's skating, and then I kick in. And what's been kicking in now has been the Patreon to get it up, because we're paying about $1,000 a month for her skating. And my wife makes just about $800 a month at her job, because she only works a couple hours a day. And so we're at a point where now we're digging into savings to pay for my daughter's skating, and I'm not going to take that away from her. So on top of the fact I'm thinking about getting a part-time job, I'm going to start a Patreon account for my daughter. And so any of you guys that maybe are not wanting to donate to I would appreciate it if, when I go live with this, if you're not wanting to donate to it, spread it around. Spread it around to as many people as you know. I'm gonna post, I was hesitant about putting videos up a lot. I was like, look, I moderate. We're gonna have to put videos and stuff and links and allow access to her Instagram account, even though it's a private one, and things like that. And if I could get another $200 a month just to offset some of the cost. I mean, we're gonna pay, so it costs $150 to enter into this invitational competition that we're doing this weekend. We got a discount on the first night, so $85 of our first night in the hotel is basically free. And so we're still paying $160 for the hotel for the weekend. I'm gonna pay $150 for her coach to come And I paid $25 for skating ice time for her to practice, plus the drive up. And like I said, $150 entry fee, $175 entry fee. Just this weekend, we're looking at $600 in cost for one competition. So, but the thing is, everybody's like, oh, an investment in your kid you're never going to regret. No, I'm not going to regret it. But the fact is, we're reaching a point where we can't pay it. So I won't regret it, but something's going to have to give. So I'm looking at getting a part-time job. Since I have access to the base, I can get a part-time job on base as a stevedore. Base, that's a fancy name for fork truck driver. So it's just one of those things that everyone, like all people go through these issues. The fact is, I have a YouTube channel. I have a Patreon account. I have an Instagram account. My daughter has an Instagram account. There are enough people out there that Jump Skelton just sent me a message. I asked him I had a question about his mirror polishes. So there's enough people out there that's looking to, we have enough people out there now that have realized that they have more than they need and are willing to donate it forward. So I'm not trying to say that I'm trying to take advantage of that situation, but the fact is, I've donated to things. I've donated to GoFundMes, and at this point, I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to feel guilty about seeing if there's people out there. People get sponsors all the time, and that's kind of what I'm looking at it as a sponsorship thing. So not to divert that from what we're doing. I'm going to get Bradley's knife taken apart because about 15 minutes I'm going to head to the Apple store to replace my phone. Fucking Spyderco has some weird fucking, it's never the sizes you think it's going to be on their stuff. God damn it. Usually your pivots are like a T10, T15 in that range. No, T8. Ah, oh, for fuck's sake, Bradley. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, bro. There it goes. So I tell you how hard I had to twist. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Bradley, we might be fucked strip. Let me see, maybe see if I can get in here with this smaller one. I think, yep, that's so fucking tight, bro. What the fuck? I think this screw was partially stripped, but the issue at hand is I gotta heat that up because I think they Loctited that and I don't want to burn your G10. So I'm gonna ever so gently add a little bit of heat to the situation because I can't get these fucking screws out. I don't strip them. Holy shit, guys. I can't get it. Bradley, I'm not going to be able to do that the way I was thinking. I think. Whew. I mean, guys, I ain't playing. I think at this point it's not going to do it because it's trying to strip the screws. It looks like they stripped it when they were putting it in. Let me see if I can get this one out. Maybe I can. Nah, bro, those are in. I don't know what they did. There ain't no fucking giving that. But I'm a clever motherfucker. I can cut that groove in there with a nice narrow. Is this big enough? Is this small enough? Yep. I'll be able to do it. Just gonna be careful and put some tape on the inside of each of these. Bradley, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not try to take this knife apart. You're gonna strip the screws. I will try the hairdryer a little bit later, but yeah, you're not. I mean, I don't have normal hands. Oh, Jesus. I need a damn cheater bar. Now I got your pivot a little bit too tight. I'll play around with it later, guys. It's so this is a Caribbean. This is that Spyderco Caribbean, and it's in LCN 200N, which, if you guys have paid attention, it's one of my favorite steels. It's some good shit. This is one of those ones. This is one of the ones that you gotta have. If you go a cunt hair too far, and I mean like a thin blonde one, not a thick Mediterranean cunt hair. I've been watching Bolter AVE again, his channel. His sense of humor is fucking amazing. So, if you go a cunt hair too tight, that motherfucker's stiff. But if you go too far, then you got, like I got blade play right now, but the action feels great. Fuck me running. Gotta fix it till it's broke. Keep your dick in a vice. That is my favorite sign off. Try the other side. So sometimes what you get is that's actually like Loctited on there real tight, and then that barrel is slotted and locked in place, and sometimes you just can't get it out from one side. Try the other side. Try them both. One of them should give. Sorry guys, somebody rang the doorbell. Somebody ring the doorbell. I gotta see. I don't know. Got something delivered. I don't know what's going on here. I should not have gotten another actual paycheck. This should have been done via well, I got another paycheck. Got my pay stub in the mail. I gotta call them and find out why it's not coming out direct deposit, because I can't cash these checks. That's another thing. You guys ready for this? Y'all still here? Can y'all still hear me? I didn't mean to. One day I'm gonna make dashing for side iron to fit that stuff. That's cool. So I went and I set up my account for the bank, for the business. And when I went in and talked to him, I was like, do I need a business account, or can I just have an account in my name? Solely in my name, so I don't have to pay business account fees. And the lady's like, yeah, sure, that's no problem. I was like, and my payroll company is gonna be able to pay me out of that account into my savings account. She's like, yeah, should be no problem. It's gonna be no problem, it'll be fine. Lo and behold, 15th of this month, when I got ready to pay myself, I got a notification from my bank that they would not honor that check, that $1,748 check after taxes. I'm like, what do you mean? So I called them, and they were like, oh, well, because you can't cash a check from one of your accounts to another. And I was like, I asked all these questions when I was at the bank. And if any of you guys that know me know that that then elicited when he was like, well, let me check into it and make sure. And he comes back and he goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. And so I had a $1,700 paycheck that I could not cash. So therefore I could not pay myself. And therefore I could not pay my mortgage. Because that $1,700 that I set aside and paid myself is exactly my mortgage. And so when he basically nonchalantly told me, he's like, yeah, sorry, you're wrong, and the person you talked to was wrong, there's nothing I can do to help you. Nonchalantly just blew it off, not like, hey, well, we'll figure something out, maybe we can help you, we'll get a bank account set up, we'll get you. Nope, just completely nonchalant, fucking wrote it off as like, well, that's your fucking problem. Well, if you guys know me, that elicited a long string of creative profanity, because I don't know if you guys know this, sailors in the US Navy can use the word fuck to its maximum capacity. I can use it for damn near anything. And at one point, I was so good at it that me and my cousin were on the fantail of the ship, and the ship's chaplain, Chaps, ran by while he was jogging. While we were out there, he was on watch and I was taking a smoke break. And Chaps heard us talking, and later that night, he commented in his evening prayer that he is always amazed at the creativity of sailors. He said, I was running around on the flight deck and I heard two sailors. He said, in one sentence, I heard one of those gentlemen use the F word 4 times in one sentence. And here's the creative part. That sentence made perfect sense. He was talking about me. So, my long string of creative profanities and insults against his mother and their heritage with goats was followed by, hey, what's this sound like? As I hung up and slammed the phone down at the same time so that it would make some noise. I was not happy. Then, to make things even worse, I had sent off a bunch of stuff to the Department of State, the State Department for California, for the small business, and some of it came back saying I was missing something. And I was like, what'd I miss? They were trying to say that I had not paid them the $20 filing fee, and I was like, I sent it in with the check, and then I check my bank account, my bank statement, and that check had been cashed. So I now have to swallow a little bit of my pride and call my bank back and inform them that I need a copy front and back of that canceled check, of that cashed check. And then I have to print that out and send it off to, pulling on my beard when I get frustrated. I have to then send that off to California Secretary of State. Again, for the second time. First time, they said there was an error in a company name, and it was misspelled, but it was not, because the actual company's name has .com in it, and so I informed them of that and told them I was sending it back. And the check was stapled to said filing. It got cashed, and they're saying that they still need $20. So it's been interesting. It's been an interesting week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I gotta call Teresa, my rep at this, and figure out why I got another physical check instead of direct deposit. So, yeah, there's that. And I have to fucking go buy a new phone. Yay me. Well, at least here's the thing. The phone is a business expense. I'm going to be able to write that off. I'm going to do the installment. I'm not paying $500 for a new phone. I'm going to do the installment plan where I basically pay $20-something a month, I think is the way it works. So, that's that, ladies and germs. Drew, eating dirt ain't easy. I guess eating dirt's better than eating shit. Oh, trials and tribulations of working for yourself. The struggle, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking real. God damn it. Bradley, I'm gonna figure something out. I think what I'm gonna do is put a little tape on either side of this file so I don't scratch your material, and just cut that groove in there. When me and Nico become a thing. My wife was joking about it when she found out. So I'm probably gonna, you know, since Nico took it, I took it down. I took it down. People were becoming very abusive to each other in the comments section, and so I just took it down, just because. So I will probably, since Nico did the footwork of setting this trip up, take the couch so that Nico can have the bed. So we have one room with a couch and a bed. And I was like, here's what I didn't ask. Here's what I didn't ask. Is there a fucking shower attached to this room, or am I gonna have to fucking stand in line with these people's kids to use the shower? That would be extremely disappointing. What time is it? We have 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Speaking of Airbnb, I have seen some of the most horrible people on the internet lately, because I've started not sleeping again. And I mean, it wasn't a bad video, and everybody else said that they didn't think I was too horrible. Well, what I might do, June, is there's some people that I think can watch that video and be decent human beings. I still have the raw file. I may post it and make it a private video. I don't know, though. I don't think I will. Because, you know what? Here's the thing. That wasn't one of my best videos. I watched it. It was not... I really wasn't into the video. Not like the one I shot last night. Last night's video was... I was ready to make a video. I did that video of Jim's knife kind of in a hurry. And I was all over the place with it. I wasn't... It was not really the best video. So taking it down wasn't that bad of a deal. So, fuck, what am I gonna do with this now? I think I have a nice narrow file in here somewhere. Where's it at? I do. I have a nice narrow flat file. Curved file that I can, let me see if I can do it that way. Is this? That will, I think that'll get it done. And I can see right where it's scratched. So, hey, I'm not joking. If you guys that are patrons saw that video, I don't endorse products just willy-nilly, like especially something that I'm showing you guys, because I got to know for a fact. And so I talked to the guy that runs their Instagram and basically runs their company, and I had questions. I honestly had questions about it, and I knew that I had tested it and I liked its properties and things like that. You can get into that. The video will be up at noon today, my time, so in about another 2 hours. But I had questions that I wanted answers to before I ever would have said and told you guys, yeah, go out and buy it. Because I don't want to be one of those guys like you've seen people endorse products and then you find out later that it isn't what they claim it. So I mean, there's always a possibility, but as far as I'm concerned, from what I talked to him and the information he provided me, I was perfectly fine telling you guys that it does what it says. And like I said in videos, it smells good. It smells good. It smells like fucking cookies. So watch that video. It'll be up in, like I said, 2 hours. So that's a better video than the gym video anyway. I can't let you guys get abused in the comment section. It's just not gonna happen. Oh, that's right, you are a Patreon. You're a patron. So, all right guys, first things first, I gotta get off here because I gotta call my payroll company and find out why I got a physical check again. And then with my pay stub, how much did I pay in taxes? Who's this FICA dude? Who said he could have my money? I paid $342 in taxes this so far this year. $161 in Social Security. No, I'm sorry. I paid, fuck. How much did I pay in taxes on this one? This is a year to date. I paid $26 in taxes this year. or this, no, I paid more than that. I paid $62 in taxes on this paycheck because I only paid myself $600 because there are things the company needs that has to come out of the account. There wasn't enough money in there to do anything else with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 40 minutes. I have accomplished next to nothing. I've been distracted and realized that I can't get this knife apart without doing some damage to it unless I try the hair dryer. So I'm going to adjourn from this, and I will talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, all later.